receptionist, and she would come up and we like painted everything. There's still something, but we spruced it up to be a mixed-use space for a design studio.
All right.
Hi.
I think that's it.
Perfect. No one usually watches these, so don't feel sorry.
Don't
about
worry.
it.
We haven't done
Literally
that well.
no.
None of your parents?
No.
They're tired. They're tired.
They're like,
Wait, are we
what are
saying
you
that?
doing? Why are you doing it?
I saw you're like 26 hours.
Yeah, that was our first.
I think maybe our parents watched a little bit of that.
Maybe.
You're like, we're going to sleep now.
But yeah, that was the first. It was maybe the first experiment with live for the studio. And a very interesting one at that, in terms of like how do you make live streaming work for 26 hours? Well, longer than.
It's technically very difficult.
Yeah.
Well, without paying any money.
Without paying any money. Yeah.
Which always tends to be an element of a lot of our projects. Yeah, because like Facebook for better information.
Yeah.
Because Facebook you can stream for 4 hours. No, 8 hours. Is it 4 or 8 hours?
4 hours for Facebook, 8 hours for like
This is like you could do for 8 hours. We could have this conversation for 8 hours, but we don't worry each other.
This is
Google Hangouts
on air, which then goes into YouTube. Like after you finish recording, it goes to the YouTube.
Click YouTube Live.
So we have like multiple cameras. Well, we have one like live streaming camera that we bought from like
Neva, livestream.com.
And that went through Facebook Live.
That was great.
That thing is really
That
cool,
thing's fantastic.
which maybe we'll figure out. Yeah, another way to use that in the future. But and then we had an iPad duct taped to the ceiling that was using Hangouts on Air. That was like our eagle eye view of everything.
Well, because we initially tried using like a bunch of GoPros. And you can do like GoPro periscope shaking. And then quickly realized that because it connects your phone over Wi-Fi, you're using data to transmit video in 26 hours of data transmitted. Video is expensive as shit. Really ranting my data plan there. But yeah, so we'll continue to explore new stuff. I mean, it's technically possible, and like you can hardwire your camera to like stream and stuff like that.
But I think now Facebook has an option that lets you stream infinitely.
But then you
it
can't
doesn't
save the
store
video.
it. Yeah, it doesn't store anything. So it's just like you can have a live stream that's up, but there's no video afterwards. Which I don't know if that's that even. I mean, for this it would be you wouldn't want that, but like
For other
the A to
things,
Z
it's
project
like
that probably could have been.
ephemeral.
Yeah.
Like weird ones.
I mean, I'm not saying that we're the reason why they did that, but they probably saw the A to Z project.
Like, if only there was a way to stream
I
for
wish we could have made
26
this
hours.
easier for them.
Yeah, and that's good. That was a real test of
Everything.
Yeah. Andrew had also been hit by a car the week
Oh, yeah.
prior. So around like 3 a.m. it was not
I thought I was gonna die.
good. Like a real dark time for us at the studio.
Yeah, that was not a great feeling. So don't do that. But otherwise,
Great experience.
otherwise it was great.
It's a good way of like getting to know a group of people that you're embarking on this entrepreneurial endeavor with.
Yeah, it's a good mental and physical exercise. That is ultimately very uncomfortable, physically and mentally.
Yeah.
But that's good. So, why don't you guys give us like a brief
Who you are, what you do, what you like, why you're here.
Hold on, all the questions.
First day of class.
Okay. I'm Stephanie. I am a grad student at ITP. My second year, about to wrap up thesis, hopefully. I used to be an architect and did that and then practiced in Boston for a little bit. And on the side while I was practicing, I knew I didn't want to be an architect, and so then I taught myself web development and did some like extracurricular classes. And then went to ITP and sort of have been making a lot of different things that aren't just on the web, but are often connected in some way. And I'm interested in, I'm addicted to like all the talks when people talk about what they do and why they did it and how they did it, and just hopefully it will be absorbed.
I like this.
Yeah, all of them.
I'm Steve. I'm a product designer at Quartz, but I also do a lot of like weird side projects on my own. I'm really into like exploring the interfaces, art, and kind of how a product could be almost like an anti-product and non-product in the art form. And I'm also like really into design for participation right now. It's kind of my thing, and like how can we make things more participatory between people who create the objects and the
Is Quartz like the news?
yeah. Quartz and news places like 60 right now. Quartz is-
Oh, yeah.
I think they like subscribe to your like newsletter, so like a topic every day.
Oh yeah, that was really.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Ingrid. I moved here in August from California, so I just moved here. I'm a graphic designer. I work at a tech company. We do like database. That's for sexy. It's called MongoDB. It's out. Before that, I was in school. I went to Berkeley where I studied computer science. But then I did like an internship in computer science, and I was like, oh, like I was like maybe not. Or it was just like during the time I would be like, oh, so why are we doing this? And they're like, oh, don't worry about it, just like it's routine. And I'm like, what? Like, who are we doing this for? And so I was like thinking, like, should I be like more like the product side? Like, how do I do that? And like at the same time, I like knew graphic design. I was just like self-taught myself. Weird wallpapers. So I was like slowly taught myself like how to do like finance design and product designer. Oh yeah. Very cool.
Do you miss California?
Recently, yeah, I've seen some photos from my friends. They're wearing shorts now. I wear like 2 pairs of pants right now, so
Yeah.
I'm just like,
It's a bit
oh.
different out here.
Yeah, for my friend was like, who just moved here a year before me. She was like, do you know winter lasts till March? And I'm like, really? Like, I thought it was like Christmas and it gets hot.
Yeah, it's a couple more months. So, hang in there.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. So, what are you guys curious
I'm curious how you guys started and like when did you feel confident? Or I don't know, maybe you're not. So.
That's a great question.
Or how often you feel confident in the longevity of
Jesus, well, we had our annual review today.
Annual as in.
It's been 1 year.
Yeah.
I said, well, we're a little over a year now.
Yeah.
But
4 months.
yeah, we had part 1 of 2 of going over our financials for the year and goal setting and figure out what we want to do next.
Trying to figure out what you just asked.
Yeah.
Which is like a really good starting point, yes. I mean, like the confidence part of it. I think we're all at Google Creative Lab together, and we worked on a few projects together there, and then we worked on one project or a couple of projects, I guess, outside of Google as like a group, like kind of freelanced as a group, and those went pretty well, surprisingly. And then
We mirrored the 26-hour project in a few different ways.
yeah, it's a good build up to that because we like had day jobs. We're also like for whatever reason trying these things out outside of Google, and they worked out pretty well. And then ultimately we all kind of ended up like our contracts had finished at Google, and we all kind of like one by one ended up leaving, and then deciding that okay, this is what we're gonna do. And we applied for doing this summer. I guess we were all still working at that point.
Yeah.
Was that before?
I think
That was, like,
so.
right
Nikki and I
after.
were the first to leave Google.
Yeah.
And then Andrew was still wrapping a few projects there. So we applied to doing as like a group with like the very lofty ambition of starting a new kind of design studio.
Yeah, I like this one.
We don't laugh because it's funny now. We laugh because it's a very lofty ambition.
Yeah,
And we're still working on it, but it was at a time we're like, oh, like everyone does things like this way, and like we want to do things that way, and like why can't we? And then you start to realize why people do things this way.
there are some reasons.
And you're like, oh, but no, that was kind of the genesis of it. I think it was like, your background was you worked at large advertising agencies and small design studios.
Then in the creative lab, probably comes from what was third or second?
Yeah. I worked at like a company called Creative Mornings, like a startup, which is now like it's an international lecture series. And then did a lot of like freelancing, doing a lot of voice and tone stuff. A lot of like a lot of voice and tone for chat bots and stuff like that, which is my alternative feature. Should all this thing go
We all have
up.
alternative
We're like,
features.
this doesn't work out. But no, we all met at the creative lab, and it seemed we knew eventually what we were on. How do you like meet people along the way, or you're perhaps one of those people where you're like, eventually I will do my own thing. There's no other option. This is just how it's gonna be until someone like eats it out of me, like emotionally. But
and I think you meet a lot of those people, like as you kind of go, like in the years from like graduating till the start of this thing, probably met like 15 other people that it was like I don't know, I knew, I'm sure you knew, like right from the start, it's like I want to do my own thing eventually, and like you said, and you kind of like meet people that are like, oh, I also want to do my own thing, and you're like, maybe this it's like dating, you know, you're like, I don't know, like, do we compliment each other enough? Or, like, do they do the same thing I do? Like, would it work? And, you know, you kind of like know, and you meet other people and know, and then you finally meet like a couple people. I mean, I guess like that's what this is. Like, you meet a few people that are like, oh, like that as a group could be an interesting dynamic. We have like a writing strategy background, we have like a design background, we have a development background. Like that all together is something that can take a project from an idea all the way through to like something that you're actually messing around with. And I think like to go back to the part of like what we thought we were doing. It's kind of like also
which we are. I mean,
that's
not
like
like
what this. I mean, that's what this
that's
is.
what this
like,
is,
that's what, like,
but
this sort of stuff.
it is
But like seeing, like being in all those different places because we'd all been in many places before, and kind of seeing like, oh, there's things about this that I really like. There's things about this that I really like. It's also maybe what if we didn't do that? You know, we did this instead, and kind of taking all those things and like grouping them into like what this is now, and saying like, can it work? Can you make money? Run a studio? So
yes.
the answer is yes so far. A lot of questions, even for us.
Yeah.
So confidence-wise, comes and goes.
Comes and goes. I definitely think it reminded me. I don't know if any of you have freelance, like full-time freelance, but it reminded me of like the first time I did that. It also reminded me of like the first time I went to school. Like starting a studio felt like I felt like my brain expanded. It was so everything was new. Like when I first left a full-time job and was freelancing, that was like traumatizing in its own way. It was very like, oh shit, like you send invoices and like I need to keep track of how much money I'm making, and I need to like all of a sudden you're just like all these new responsibilities that like you kind of had to take on. I was like, oh, I have to like get the work, and then I have to like share the work and like talk about the work, and that helps me get more work, and like you kind of just like bite off more responsibilities and just like more processes that you just have to keep running in your head at all times. And then eventually it kind of like you get used to it. And I feel like that was definitely like starting the studio it was like, oh shit, like we need to figure out like we have to make sure we're paying the studio rent, we have to keep the lights on, and we have to get the internet installed. Like a lot of things that in some way maybe you did like we did with our own apartments or things like that, but it just kind of all of a sudden there's like a new host of like responsibilities and like things to like figure out.
Yeah.
Which I'd say it took about like 3 to 4, maybe 5 months before it didn't feel painful.
Yeah. And I think there's still elements of it that are
Like there's always
consistently you're like, oh, I get this. We've mastered this. Okay, now like, we've unleashed a whole nother round of like not problems, but just like a whole nother round of like things that to be or like confident in this.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Yeah, so like starting out, it was like figuring out like, oh, like where does work come from? You kind of just feel like a total like dumbbell. Like I was just like, and how do we do it? And then you figure it out, and it's like the stakes are high, but they're not colossally high. Like it's one of those things where it's like, this doesn't work out. Like we could get jobs, we can do other things. Like,
it's nice. I mean, it's not bad to be. It's not bad to feel like
yeah,
the majority of the time. You know, because I mean, it's like you can like have a job where you get into like the rhythm and you just like continue. You're like, I'm so good at exactly what I do. But then like there's niceties about just being like, shit, how are we? You need to hire a lawyer? How do we hire a lawyer? How do we find lawyers? Like
$7,000 on legal expenses
right.
this year.
It's just like all of a sudden, all these
Things like that where you're just like,
lawyers.
oh shit, that costs a lot of money because we have to make more money. And like the math is relatively simple. You like make more money than you spend, but then you're like, well, how much do we want to spend? And like, how much do we need? How much do we want? How much we charge for a project? And we don't have any work in our portfolio. Like, how much can we get someone to give us money to make a website? A lot of like figure that stuff out. And then the more you do it, yeah, the better you get. And you feel increasing confident. Like I remember like my first few meetings with clients, just like my hands were shaking so much, and now they're like, all right, we won't do anything for like less than X amount. We won't even take the call. Like, and we're still just like a bunch of noobs sitting in like a warehouse in Bushwick, you know? Like you're like, no, but like we still won't do that. And so that feels good. And one of the other things that was interesting is we had a friend Pedro that we worked with, who's a partner here as well, who he left for a year, like right when we started, and then he came back. And just I feel like the amount of things that we've learned since he left, like he's come back with basically like the same outlook and perspective that we had when we started the studio, and now we're like, we can't do it for that much. Like, what are you thinking? Like, I don't know, just like seeing, you can see very clearly like the learning that has taken place over the last year with having conversations with him. But yeah, he brings like a nice fresh perspective to everything else.
Well,
that answers your question.
A very short answer to your question. Super easy.
Yeah.
Wants to feel confident all the time.
Feel optimistic.
Yeah.
And I feel relatively confident. Right? We've made it 1 year fine by the seat of our pants. I feel like we have more going for us now than we did when we were flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
Therefore,
more going for us now than we did a year ago.
So you would think it would get better.
Yeah.
It's better. Yeah.
All right. What else do you guys know?
So you guys like briefly talked about starting out, and, like how are your plans, how do I know, like all that.
Yeah.
How you guys figure that out?
Yeah, I mean, getting clients is probably and continues to be one of the biggest challenges.
Yeah.
In the sense that that's kind of where it went.
Surprisingly enough, yeah, that's how you make money.
When we first started, a lot of studios we had a lot of conversations with other founders when we started, and found out that a lot of people start either with like a retainer client already, like a lot of people like left Google and already had a relationship there, and they like jumped right into a contract, and that's why they started a studio. A lot of people have trust funds.
Some people are rich.
Some people are like you start to like as you like peel back the curtain, all these you're like, how are they doing it? And like the answer is there's nothing wrong with it, but the answer is not everyone is starting with the same like deck of cards.
Yes.
But we started with nothing for some reason. That seemed like a good move.
Seemed brilliant. Yeah. Seemed really smart.
But we started with, I mean, we just finished working at Google, so we definitely had like a little bit of cushion each of us.
Saved up.
We were like, all right, like, is everyone ready to like make money for a long period of time, 6 months? But a lot was from like my freelance practice. Working at Creative Mornings really put us in touch with like some really awesome people around the world who are now are like creative directors at different studios and brand directors. So kind of tapping all those people being like, hey, like we have this thing, like we'd really love to work with you. If you're available, or if you're like willing to give some money to a bunch of people who have no collective portfolio.
Yeah.
We made a deck that had stuff we had done at different places to share around. We joined New Link, which was a community. I mean, it's all basically, I'd say, like, communities were really being considered.
Yeah, a lot of
Spending a lot of time like, investing in relationships over the years.
relationships, all of it.
Yeah.
It's like meeting people, knowing people, reaching out to people we haven't seen in a while, who like worked with before, people that still work in the same places that they did when you knew them, and you're like, oh hey, like, you guys ever hire students? Because I got one.
Very cool.
A lot of that, and 90% of those lead to nothing.
Yeah.
10% of those lead to like a conversation. 3% of those.
Let me know once you do a
projects.
website. Let me know once you have an e-commerce website. So then you end up doing stuff for probably less than market rate.
Oh yeah, we do a lot. We did, yeah, we
We
did
did a lot of
ton
like
stuff.
$6,000 websites.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff for very little amounts of money that were just like enough to keep us going. But
And to create a portfolio.
yeah, the biggest thing in the first year, I feel like for us is just like did a bunch of different stuff, learned some processes around doing those things. When you make a website, you have to put it online. Okay.
Oh shit, don't do that again.
Do we like house the servers? Do we, all that sort of stuff is actually there when we do a print campaign? How do we work with the printer? Care about that? Do we leave that to the client when we do social media or things like that? Like, are we responsible for the Instagram handle? Like, all those questions, I feel like were things that we were just taking projects, and at one time I think we had 8 projects going.
At one point, we had 12 projects.
There's like a video, we're doing like a small film, like a couple of websites, we're doing a branding project, like we're doing some social media for people, like just really trying to figure out what are the things that we like, we want to keep doing, and then also just like stuff so that we can say like, we're
doing a video
doing
right now.
we know how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Here, look.
A lot of the conversations too would be like, oh yeah, we're talking to someone about an e-commerce site right now.
Yeah.
You need an e-commerce site? Yeah, we're talking to someone about an e-commerce site.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Like a lot of you are like, we're familiar. But you need to see it? Well, let's get a prototype up. Let's get like a thing up. Let's show that we can do this. Yeah, totally. I mean, and I would say also, like, we probably only worked weekends the first 3 months, first 2 months. Like, we worked a lot and we worked very hard, but we didn't sacrifice like our personal lives as much. Yeah, because if we're doing that, then it's like, if this is what it takes to do it, like, then maybe none of us want to do this.
Yeah.
So by I'd say the third month, we're like, all right, we're and part of taking on a lot of work too, unfortunately, is like knowing those limits. Like, oh shit, well that's definitely we are at capacity, and all of us hate everywhere. Yeah, we hate each other. And being able to be like, okay, once we are done with this project, don't take on another project. Like, don't say yes to that. So reaching a point where you can be like, actually, we're booked, and we schedule you for 2 months from now. Oh, cool. Like, people still want to work with us 2 months. So let's get it in a contract.
There's like a lot of saying yes to a lot of things. Yeah. The beginning. Dialing the gas slowly as we grew more knowledgeable.
And I feel like so much of pricing is confidence. Like, to get back to it, just to be what are you worth? And the more projects you have, you can start to think, you'd probably be charging more. We need some of these projects out. And then just getting more confident, what your time is worth. Which, as a freelancer, that was so big for me. Was just being I'm worth this much. Being able to say it, and then when you add more people that equation, you're oh, what is that number? I guess it should be 3 times that. But
which is tough. And I mean, sometimes you can ask people as well. We asked a lot of other studios and places early on because they didn't think probably didn't think we would make it very far. One. So they didn't worry about us ever being a threat to their business. And 2, most times people are usually willing to give you some form of advice. which seems
Especially yeah,
counterintuitive.
when you're figuring shit out. People are generally helpful.
It can be very helpful.
And
the
then they
more
stop
those-
being helpful when
Yeah.
you do too well.
Right. There's a grace
Hey, you wanna
period.
get lunch? Like, no.
There's a grace period on that stuff.
Ugh.
It's like we're willing to help you to a certain point, but then you could eventually take our money,
Yeah.
and that's a problem. Not gonna happen. Yeah. But really, like the more of those conversations you have with clients and with potential clients, the more you just like understand. Oh, this when they say this, it means like the project isn't gonna start for another 3 months.
Yeah,
You know,
because they don't know like where it's going, when they need it, like
they're like, oh, we're talking about it internally. It's like, oh,
This
this
will
isn't
never
something
happen.
that's going to happen right now. You know, like, we need to not focus on this. We need to take another project we can hold out for this one. Just kind of getting used to that, those things.
Yeah.
Which doesn't take that long.
I'd say about by 1 year, like after a year's worth of work, we've just started to get people who are reaching out who saw things that we think.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is like we're in the very beginning stages of people who have found us, like our work, and want to work with us. Yeah. The rest is just like convincing our clients to give us money. That's like year one is like, please,
Just like surviving
just
that,
like
making enough work
trust
that
us.
you can then have this. Like making enough work that like someone will see it and they'll go like, oh, that's really nice. Who did that? And you're like,
And then they're like,
it's us, the very formal, fancy design studio that you would probably expected. We would like this much money, please. And then they have no idea that you are
did that website for
children.
$6,000. Yeah.
And then you have no idea, which we do. That's not really true. But, you know, it's like just making that work in that year so that you have something to like find. And then getting out onto the world, which is a whole other exercise.
That's the devil.
In and of itself. Not only from like getting clients to finish things, but then also getting people to write about it or like blog to pick it up and all that sort of stuff. So that's
I'm actually super curious about the process. I know that's a really difficult thing to quantify, but there's like a really nice like specificity in your work, the content and the form and how they kind of each other. Everything kind of just like feels right. Like an artist website that you can call in and listen to the artist talk about it. That's such an obvious solution. It's like, why didn't I think of that? So I'm curious, like what your day-to-day process is like, how you kind of arrive at these solutions and like navigate around that sort of space to try and find sort of like really very content together.
so great question. I think something even like going back to the A to Z project is something that not necessarily came out of that. I think it exists because like the same reason why the studio exists. It's like we knew that us working together ended up with those sort of ideas, and what that really came from was like being able to have these really open conversations and like dialogue around projects when we're doing. So with the Mark Horowitz project and with all projects that we do, the very beginnings of it, we do like pretty intense like initial calls, or like we go there and we spend time with them. We'll do like a day of like we have this little booklet, have them answer questions, and we'll talk to them. And we all come back and we'll do many sessions of like working on a whiteboard or just like sketching out ideas and like having conversations about what do you think? I think we should do this. What about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And then we start like building off of those ideas, kind of like converge and go back out and diverge back out. We all kind of like don't talk about it for a couple of days. Then we come back again and we'll like rehash some of the ideas that we think were good. And then we'll kind of continue either to build on those, or we'll say like, oh, and yesterday I had this idea that what if we did something like this? And what's interesting, because we all have different backgrounds, is that like a design idea might get critiqued by Nikki, who's like a developer, and I might then critique Carly's idea, who's a writer, and you kind of have this like melding of all these different backgrounds or like specificities, I guess, of people thinking about it in different ways and not being so tied to, oh, like we're a design studio. It should be beautiful. Like, I don't care about it. The development is like, or like
disconnected phases.
it's like everything. It's
I think
like
that helps.
if it doesn't speak in the right way, then like me and Nikki should be able to comment on that. If it doesn't look good, then Carly and Nikki should be able to comment on that. It should be like a very open process for that space.
Nothing is precious. It's definitely football. Yeah. But yeah, the Mark episode was a funny one because he's based in LA, so for that like initial kickoff, we did call him. It's just so fucking funny. It's just like
it was like a very long call.
It was a long call and
Intuitively long
he was just like a lot of like banter and a lot of just like wordplay and like back and like eventually we're like, all right, we gotta like do this thing and like ask you these questions and you answer them. But like it was like a lot of like wending conversations and eventually one of the ideas was just like, what if it's just him? And like how can we get him on the site in that way? And like how can you call him? Like that would be like, well, he can't answer everyone's calls, but like, yeah, could he like, how can we like get the same experience we just had for like other people? Because he obviously, does a better job describing the ideas behind his website than anyone else. And then we were also really inspired by, what was that like lumber website? It wasn't like MasterCard, but it was like some sort of like very like basic website. Harbor Freight.
So like, I mean, yeah. It's like how many websites? I mean, we're definitely not like the first website to have a phone number attached to it, but it's like how many websites with phone number actually call. So that was like the big like thing to try and figure out for us. And it was like, okay, we have this great idea, but like, how do you design it in a way that people actually call them? So we're looking at a lot of these like really like base level, like very utilitarian websites that are like ugly in some ways, but also they just have like, you just knew that there's like no bullshit. It was like, oh, I can like call this thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna work. And so that was an exercise. Just like, how do you how do you visually communicate this idea of actually call somebody true?
Yeah. Sure.
I think I have a number at the top of the screen.
It's
It's
definitely helpful.
we're kind of like UX designers.
Yeah.
We're really into the UX.
I'm big on the UX.
Big on the UX. The UX. Yeah. And then, but eventually they did want to read them. So
Yeah, so we put a book in there. So we
Put a-
I prefer to read, but that's like a student. Really,
it looks like you're like turning the pages of a book. Check kiss.
it's like iOS 1. It's terrible.
We got paid halfway in a painting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to
That should be soon. We should be getting
putting that up on the wall in this space somewhere. I'll live in that corner.
Yeah, so that was the other lesson learned. It was like, okay, if people don't have enough money, like what can we get from them that is not money, but like we're working with an artist or we're working with a furniture designer or we're working with whatever. Like, okay,
You like
give
these
us
tools?
as much money as you can, and then give us, a painting or a product or service.
Well, yeah, and that conversation came out of like, it's like, grip. Like, it was definitely like, that was a wrestling situation where it was like, okay, but like, once we knew we could be able, we should charge a certain amount. What if people just won't pay you that? And then do you just say like, okay, fine, like, what do you have? And then a few different people were like, no, like, you figure out, like, that's up to them. Like, how can they meet you there? And we're like, oh, how can you like, okay, like if you have this much, you have cash that you can pay for this, like how can you help us get to this like budget number and like that's what you do. So we have these lovely chandeliers, you see it? Not those. Those ones that look
The
like
white ones.
waistbands. They're very nice lights.
Stools.
We have these blue stools.
So basically, why we have fancier stuff in this place. It really look like we should have. And soon we'll have a nice painting.
Soon we'll have a painter.
Probably retail.
Which
They are
when
working
we
for a
do,
lot of money.
when we shut down this whole business, we'll saw it
Have a
up
lot
into
of
3
things.
pieces and we'll each get a third of it.
A lot of things to fight over.
That kind of deviated it from the process question,
But I mean, yeah, overall, I think like the process is very much collaborative, extremely collaborative. As with every studio. Again, going back to like things that we had seen in other places that we thought were interesting or worked well, or things that we were like coming from, for me, like coming from the ad world, like I'd worked in the ad industry for a bit, it's like very like tiered.
I do
It's like
this.
junior, mid-level, senior, executive level. Yeah, and everyone kind of thinks, yeah, you get a piece of it. And I don't know, it's just like, it doesn't seem, it's tough to get, for me, it's tough to get a lot of like fulfillment out of that because you feel like you're,
So is this so perfect?
so trying to like create studio space where like everyone is challenging on everything all the time. Seeing it.
Yeah, I think, yeah, the other big part is just giving yourself enough time to come up with good ideas. I feel like in the beginning, we were like, so many good ideas, this isn't easy. Our ideas are the best, and we give ourselves like 2 hours.
Not untrue.
Not untrue. But we
Maybe
give ourselves,
maybe
put like 2 hours on the
overestimate
calendar,
ourselves.
we'd be like, all right, come up with the idea then, and then we'll present it tomorrow. And then like the 2 hours are going,
Because it was like,
yeah.
it was like we're making such little amount of money.
Yeah, you're
we
like,
can't
how
put
do
that
you
much
match
time toward it. But then it was like, then we're just making shitty work for shitty money. Like that's not what we wanted to do.
good work or good
Yeah.
money?
That was a good realization.
That was
a tough one.
so then it was just like, okay, well, we need to go away from that. And that's how that became a piece of it. So it's like we had like 2 or 3 of those meetings where it's literally just like everyone puts out all the ideas. They would put them into a deck, which is very Google of us, but because like if you can't present your idea, then it's probably not a good idea. And then a lot of ideas get combined, deleted, evolved, and then we present. Usually we present like 3, like 2 to 3 ideas to a client.
And sometimes we're
Or more. We have like a bunch of ideas that we're excited about. Like you don't want to like overwhelm someone, of course, but like we're not like afraid of doing it. Actually, we like all this stuff.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I think as long as you're like excited about all of the things, then all of the things. I think it sounds really interesting, but for us, kind of like the way that it's viewed, it's like be happy making any of these. Like, let's see if we can get them.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, here's like the one that we really love, and then here's a really shitty idea. And then they're like, cool, let's do that. And you're like, oh fuck, I don't want to do that.
Like in cases where you have a idea.
There's a few.
There are temporary highs.
Yeah, temporary highs that happens. Like 1 or 2 others. So yeah, there's like a few that are like
Sometimes,
1, but then there's some that are like 9. You know, like somewhere in the middle is where we try it.
Yeah. I mean, we're usually like super open about it. This is the idea of what we want to do. I'm very excited about this. These other ones are fine, but like this is the one. For the easy reason.
It usually helps
Yeah.
clients for the
People
most
want to
part.
be told.
Yeah, they
It's
have
what they're paying.
a lot of things to do. But they run businesses. They're concerned about like bigger problems than like this campaign about or websites. That's why they do.
What else is going on in your lives? Anything exciting? What are you most excited about right now? Steve Button.
Steve Button.
Hold on to that.
I'm curious from you, like how much, if you're a graduate student, so like how much work do you guys do outside of work? Work outside of
freelance work and then working with them. It's really tough. Yeah, it gets the proper attention.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that actually because you guys mentioned you did so you guys are people. Like, how did you make time to like really? Because it's really hard to just be like after work or something. You don't have that much time or like that much you want to like look at your computer. So that's
Certainly not ideal in general. I'd say balancing the two is always hard because,
You
But
have to
I feel
want-
like it's
you have to
inevitable.
want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not like, and which is
And
fine.
it can be,
It's something that like it's definitely like usually not. It's just like something that you do. I mean, there's definitely days where we probably can't still do this, but ultimately it was like the fun of like making something else or like working
yeah,
together.
like waking up early. Even when I was out, we're still at school, like calls at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Like, be like, oh, I have to eat dinner. Like, can I call you afterwards? Be like, cool. Like, get on the call at like 10 p.m. We're just like, fuck my life. It's definitely not ideal, but it's also like you don't have the luxury also of just being full time on something that's not paying you like a livable wage. So you kind of have to just like make the time. I'd say for me, like I was like probably most efficient and most happy when I was like waking up early, working out, eating 3 healthy meals a day. Like things start to go to shit when I was like staying up really late working, then I'd wake up tired, I wouldn't work out, I'd eat a donut for breakfast, like it's just like everything just starts to like fall apart and then you're like sad and unhappy and your emotions suffer. That's the counterbalance of all that. It's like, okay, well, as long as like everything else, like I'm like taking care of myself and like making sure I'm checking all the other boxes, that's pretty good. But yeah, the moment shit just starts to slide, I just became human trash. that was an ugly time, for sure. I'd say that like I was probably worse when I was freelancing because I wasn't accountable to anyone other than my clients. I was like, we're the same thing. Yeah, you're such a. But when you have partners, they like know if you haven't like slept or showered in a few days.
They notice.
Good. Which like keeps
Just good
you.
for your life.
You're like, oh, pizza again, Carly. But yeah, I'd say
Ultimately, it's like a decision.
making the time.
Yeah, it's just like you really want to do it, you figure out how to do it.
There were definitely days where I like had to take calls for freelance stuff while I was at work. You always just feel bad about that.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of that.
It's definitely like, and everyone knows. I'm doing like 4 things at once, and like no one will notice, but everyone always knows. Like, yeah, of course. Carly watched 4 newsletters this month, and she looks like trash. Great. Best work of my life. No, it's making the time. Early morning, late nights.
Yeah.
Weekends.
Do it for
But
everyone.
you can't do, it's not sustainable, for sure.
Depends on what you want. Yeah. Really enjoy it. You do it.
I mean, I've seen a lot with, what I do think is, every, like, industry is different. I see a lot with, like, freelance illustrator stuff, like, day jobs, and, like, a lot of editorial stuff is, like, 12-hour timeline. It's like, all right, like, you get the assignment in the morning, you work on it at night, you have to turn it in the next morning anyways. And it's very unpredictable, so a lot of stuff kind of just exists like that, too. Where it wouldn't be sustainable as a full-time practice all the time.
Yeah.
But can't do it all. At least not for a long time. Yeah, I've seen the diagram. My boyfriend Sebastian likes this diagram. It says one tweet on Twitter. Tuning in Sebastian. It says health, full-time, freelance, and you have to pick 2. Because you can't really do all of them forever.
Wow, he made that up. Good job, Sebastian. He's a smart guy.
He's smart. Very smart.
It's you.
like 0 followers. 0
Not you,
viewers.
sad. Leading to our studio audience. 0 viewers. Exactly. He must have just gotten off.
He's probably watching.
Probably watching like incognito chat or something. It's like I don't want them to know that I'm watching. I'm watching.
I feel this approach.
Well, we probably have like 5 more minutes.
Oh shit, really?
We're doing like an hour. If we're gonna like try and do like we can like talk,
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
but
Works for me.
figure like some sort of wise structure to this.
Yeah.
So, is there any like
Any other burning questions?
Like general advice for people just starting out.
Shit, make a lot of friends.
big lot of friends
That's literally the only reason we have any money this year.
that really fuck up at the job?
Oh yeah, that's the other really good piece of advice.
Because like you get paid regardless. Like, you get,
Unless you
like,
get fired.
yeah, like don't get
Don't get
fired. Like, don't do
fired.
anything like really dumb, but just like
But mistakes are way more expensive on your own time.
really like just do the thing that like could end in a mistake. Like do that when you work for someone. Like because they're usually like, oh my god, I just didn't know what I was doing. And you're like, okay, now someone has to fix this, and you're like, oh boy, sorry. But like when you do it when it's like yours, it's like, oh, you're not gonna get paid for like 4 months now. Sick. You have money saved. Definitely that.
Yeah.
And like
Download all the
yeah,
documents.
steal a
Take
bunch of
everything.
things from those places as well. Not that we've stolen anything from any places that we've ever worked.
Because at some point you're gonna be like, what's an invoice?
Like, yes.
You know, like the basic shit that you've been using every day. Just like, what does that look like? What
Eventually,
did a spec sheet look like?
what's an SOW? What is on it?
Statement of work.
And
Shit like
what's
that.
The work you said you would do.
Yeah, it's like a, it's
Yeah.
basically like a
You
formalized.
just end the shit in the beginning.
It's like a formalized, it's kind of like
Like a
contract
deliverable.
type of thing. It's just like,
Okay.
here's like all the stuff that we do to you. Sign off on that.
It's like a proposal, but proposals
After
feel,
it's like after the
more flat, like
proposal,
flourishy. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, la 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 la, I wrote you a letter.
stuff like that. So like go into like, again, not that we've done this or that we know exactly where to go, but go into like admin folders, wherever you work, bring a hard drive, go into like really cool clients that whatever you're working at has, grab all that stuff.
What did the deck look like? How did they set it up? Like, figuring all that stuff out. You're like, the moment you have a blank slate, you're like, oh, like I've done this a million times, but I can't remember what it looks like at all.
That's what
It's been helpful.
yeah, that's super
Copy, paste, evolve, change.
change it,
Everything's
understand
derivative.
it.
Understand why.
Yeah, understand.
Why did they have that line there? 6 months later, you will know.
That's why they specify down to like file type off. Figure that out.
You are.
You're like, man, this
and
seems
an
so,
MOV.
seems so dumb that they have 6 JPEGs here. We're not gonna put them. We're not that strict. We're cooler than that. And then like 6 months later, you're like, can you make one for like this, and we're gonna do a print version of this too. That's cool, right, guys? And you're like, yes. I guess we're not protected against that, so.
Yeah.
That's something.
And then, yeah, also, yeah. I mean, we don't have any retainers, but the other like flip side, it's like, oh, cool. Like, maybe you're working with one client that's like paying like half your salary. Yeah, you're gonna do a lot of legal review, what you're building. Yeah, diversify. So working with like a bunch of small projects while emotionally exhausting is also just like, okay, cool. Like one of these doesn't work out, something falls through, fine. Versus like picking up like 3 clients. So,
We don't want one of them to fall through. That's a big deal.
yeah,
Those are
it's
big
been
deals.
fun. It's been a good year.
Starting out
It's
is
been
great.
a big learning experience. But
Can I take You're taking business classes?
I am!
Can you tell me?
I love it so much.
What
That's
did you learn?
okay. So I am in Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. But it is. It's part of their bailout program. They educate 10,000 small businesses across the United States. So it's all free. It's very cool. I'm in an all-female cohort, which is sponsored by the Rich Foundation, but they have co-ed ones. You apply, and it's basically like 3 weeks, once a week, 8 hours a day. A business class, and they just take you through like every aspect of your business. So everything from like what's your mission statement to like how's your team structured to how do you like do that thing you do and like how do you do it differently than everyone else. Just like asking all the questions. There's a lot in there. Like there's a class on accounting. They bring a CPA who like has accounts their books. It's just like and basically everything where I felt like speaking to confidence. Like I was like. I knew there was a lot of stuff that we didn't know, especially because I also come from a design background. I don't have like business school in my background. Like I took this, I went to RISD and I studied industrial design. I took like some business classes at Brown while I was there, but certainly did not know how to balance any type of financial documents. So it's kind of just giving me a lot of visibility around like, oh, I know I don't know that. Or at least I know there's like this thing that this is what the lawyer does, and like that's where like my knowledge should end. They're like, it's cleared up a lot of like the gray areas where I felt like really low confidence around. I was just like, I don't know anything. Now I'm like, oh well, I know that, or I know that I don't need to know that. Just been really good. And that was kind of like today, like doing the first part of our annual review. It was like I was like. These are financial documents, and this is how much money we made, and this is how much money we made before operating expenses, and just like understanding
Operating
things.
expenses.
It really makes everything a little less fun, but also it's liberating in the sense that I realized we have a lot more control. And I think the first year was like, well, if no projects come, that's how it works, and that's like, oh, actually, like. You have like marketing tools, or you could be tracking where your clients come from. Like, are you sending them like gifts? And like, are you like, what's your line? Like, how do people know what you do? Like, how are you presenting yourself? Like, are you doing this thing? Like, have you made your operations more efficient? You're just like, like there's actually like all these little knobs that like I can be turning at any given moment that like will either help us make money or not help us make money. But also, the goal is not always to make money. There's like we want to make cool work and we want to not hate each other and like we want to have good culture and yeah, so it's like how are we growing internally and like there's like I was like, oh, who knows? It's like, well actually like you could be tracking it, you guys could be doing like individual reviews, like you could be like setting aside a budget for like research and continuing education. Like it's just like I was like wow, there's just like a lot of things. So it's liberating, but also sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it's useful.
But it's been, I mean, it's better than it's worse.
Good conversation.
Yeah. No, I think it's exciting. Definitely feels like we are coming into the next year with like a lot more knowledge about what we did and what worked.
Yeah.
Although we did pretty well without it.
Good. It's a good. You can do it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. You can do any sort of like business education.
Yeah.
Just as like, I mean, just like not like knowing
It's
what
just
you
such-
don't
it's a
know,
tool.
like knowing
Like anything
anything
else.
whether or not you choose to like.
The more tools in your
subscribe,
tool belt, the better you'll do.
It's just nice to know like, oh, this is what that means. Like, this
We
is,
have a business line of credit, and that's gonna make the months where we don't get paid feel way less worse.
like, how do other companies do this?
Like,
You know?
you know,
There's a lot of tricks. There's a lot of things.
it's just like, yeah, there's like tax season, it's terrifying. I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff that, even as a freelancer, like you deal with like a little bit, but then like with your business as a whole. We don't have any employees, but that's like a whole huge bucket of worms of like legalities. Is someone a contractor, an employee? Do you have to build rights up? Do you have to put a conduct? What do you do? Like very hard to like fire someone. Like you're just like, oh, like that's a lot of stuff here. Probationary periods like aren't real. It's something else I learned. It's like they can still sue you. Like, you know, there's like no such thing as a like probation. Either an employer or not. But lots of friends like, oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Funny stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of information. But you can't possibly remember it all, but more information is always better.
You know, have and not need. Need and not need.
Yeah, the class I love, and it's at LaGuardia Community College. It's like every other Wednesday. But we have it on Fridays. And I come back and I present it to these dudes, and they listen to me for like an hour, 2 hours. So I'm like, here's everything I learned yesterday.
It's really great. Oh, I feel like I went to business school.
Yeah, that's definitely been my highlight of the year. It's just like learning all that shit, because even God forbid everything disappears in the next year or so. Like, let's keep that.
Yeah. I think that's a good ending. It's kind of like the one beautiful thing about all of this is like, regardless, if this thing ends tomorrow, there's still like, I feel like the amount that you learn, the amount that we've learned in a year and a half of running a studio is like years of knowledge. Because it's all compounded
certainly
into
feels like
this
a lot.
very intense experience of like survival.
Yeah.
You know, trying to survive for an extended period of time. So, like going to business classes, learning to negotiate, all of these things are like, I don't know, such huge life experiences. Yeah, huge life skills and stuff that you're interested in it, or if you have the opportunity to, are always good tests for yourself. Whether or not it's like starting a business or going just to business classes and learning these things.
Or like, working in operations at someone else's business.
Yeah.
Working at a startup is like not a big deal. But yeah, it affects everything. The way that capitalism all that. But it's like, I don't know, like negotiation skills, communication skills. I feel like that was like my biggest thing this year. It's like, I feel blank, you mean blank, because blank. And like that's affected like all my relationships. That's affected like
Harley's really good at feedback. Excellent feedbacker.
I'm not. Andrew's a much better feedbacker. But like just like figuring out how to like talk to people, how to like work with other people, how to like disagree with people in a way that sell the company the next day.
I mean, that's the creative process also.
Yeah.
Especially when the creative process involves more than one person, more than you. You know, it's all about like how do you negotiate these relationships between differing ideas or different skill sets, or like understanding how do you use what this person brings to the table, but also have them feel like, or have them feel like they have ownership of the table. Like that's like, you can figure that out. Pretty good. With that, I think we'll tie up the old Hawraf live.
That's beautiful.